non đuổi đi á. Non đuổi đi.
Chẳng nó tiền gì nữa.
Setakat ini Kementerian Dalam Negeri Thailand mengesahkan 1.975 mangsa terkorban, sementara 6.043 lagi dilaporkan masih hilang. Pegawai pasukan penyelamat berkata separuh daripada mangsa yang hilang itu terdiri daripada pelancong barat. Antaranya Sweden dan Jerman menganggarkan lebih 1.000 warga masing-masing dilaporkan hilang di Thailand. Norway menganggarkan 446 warganya masih hilang, sementara Menteri Luar Perancis, Michel Barnier, berkata beberapa ratus warga negara itu turut hilang di Thailand. Australia pula masih cuba mengesan 800 warganya di sekitar Pulau Phuket ketika bencana melanda. Bangkok mengerahkan 20,000 petugas, termasuk bantuan bagi mengesan mayat bangsa untuk dikebumikan segera dengan keadaan cuaca pada tahap 33 darjah Celsius. Pasukan forensik Thailand yang kekurangan kelengkapan kini dibantu beberapa pasukan forensik asing yang dikerah ke negara itu.
Well, let's talk now to our correspondent Chris Hogg, who's been following events in the Thai capital, Bangkok. Chris, summarise for us the impact on Thailand.
Well, I think starting off with those holiday areas, the pictures that you've just been looking at, hardest hit the island of Phuket and the much smaller island of Phi Phi nearby. Although the effects of this earthquake were felt as far away as here in the capital, Bangkok, it's those islands that were hit so hard by these walls of water where we've seen the greatest numbers of deaths and casualties. The latest information we have from British officials is that at least 10 Britons are in hospital. Now that number is likely to rise over the next few hours. It's still the early hours of the morning here. And as I speak, consular officials are travelling around the main hospitals in Phuket, trying to establish just exactly who's been injured and who might be missing.
And what are the emergency services managing to do in the worst hit areas? Have they managed to get to all the areas that have been affected?
No, they haven't. Now, one of the biggest problems that they've got is a lack of power. When these walls of water hit these beaches, they didn't just do so much damage to the unfortunate people that were on the beach or swimming in the hotel pools on the side of the beach, but of course they dumped all this debris onto the streets and in many cases tore down power lines. So part of the problem that they've had working through the night has just been establishing power. Then you've got this second issue, which has been touched on a little earlier, of just trying to contact these outlying islands. You have to remember that this area, as well as those big islands that we've been focusing on, there are lots of little settlements, and in the next 2 or 3 hours, as first light comes, one of the priorities for the emergency services, for the Thai Army and Navy forces who've been mobilized to help in this relief effort, will be to try to contact those outlying areas just to try to find out the scale of the devastation there.
What stories are you hearing, Chris, from people who actually survived this? It must have been an absolutely terrifying experience.
Well, indeed, and I think some of the most remarkable are from people who were on holiday and who were just doing the most normal things, sitting there having breakfast with their children. There was one Swedish tourist who said she was having breakfast on the beach with her husband when one of her 3 children raced over, crying out, being followed by this huge wave. The family followed other foreign tourists who were evacuated to the hills. They stayed there for hours without food. I can tell you it was a very warm day in southern Thailand today. They said locals brought them water. Finally, they returned to the seaside, and then the Thai people came again and shouted, "The waves are coming, the waves are coming." And they had to drop their food and run off into the hills again. It's those kind of stories that give you a real idea of just how horrible for these people that were having these amazing Christmas vacations in these beautiful white sandy beaches, turquoise waters, and they've just had them turned into a nightmare.
Chris in Bangkok.